Ladies and gents, welcome back to EACS 2025 here on COD Mobile. We've got another double header for you tonight. We've probably got a bit of explaining to do because you're probably looking on the screen, you're going, who on earth are these two fellas that are in the ear roll right now? So we'll have a bit of introductions. My name is Major. Joining me is the very handsome man in Mark. Mark, mate, this is going to be new grounds for us. We will address the elephant in the room because
Oh
this is
yeah,
very much new
completely.
territory for us, mate.
Very much new territory for sure. COD Mobile is going to be an experience for sure for both of us for our first time together as well. It's going to be two birds, one stone. Why not? It's going to be fun.
Yeah, so we'll talk about the series we've got coming up again because of our knowledge within COD Mobile being very limited. There might be moments tonight where we completely butcher somebody's name. Apologies to all the players in advance if there are a couple of names that we absolutely hammer and get wrong. But yeah, we've got a double header this evening. The first game though going to be between Instinct and Nonagon, two African teams as well. Mark, obviously the beauty of COD Mobile is that it's worldwide. You get all the different regions playing up against each other, and we've got a double header from Africa straight away.
Yeah, exactly. And it's the first time these African teams have been participating in UCE events as well. So this is going to be a first time for them. They've obviously did the qualifiers to get to this stage in the first place. And that being said, the two teams have already faced each other as well for the first time, and that was in qualifiers as well, Major. So this is going to be interesting. It's a revenge match, hopefully, for Nonagon, and they'll be trying to see if they can at least find a map against the Instinct side. But it'll be interesting to see if they can.
Yeah, we'll take a look at the players of Instinct, hopefully first, just to have a look at the five that they are running with. Obviously, Mark as well. The figure we're used to is we're running 4v4 normally on our bread and butter, which is normal COD multiplayer. But 5v5 Instinct going to consist of Device, Charisma, Mantra. I'm going to go with Ia and then Vepex. We're going to go with the team of five. Again, apologies to the players in advance if we have got some of them wrong. Anyone in chat, feel free to give us the heads up if we are absolutely butchering them. But yeah, 5v5, Mark. Obviously, there's a lot of action that happens on the map in COD Mobile, and 5v5
Yes.
just makes it even more mixy, really.
I know, it's just going to be interesting to see, especially with the change, obviously with operators and such like as well, all these different changes for COD Mobile. The fact that there's multiple and a lot more range of weapon choices as well, which I'm
Yeah.
really excited to see. The fact that we could see some snipers and some shotguns getting used is definitely going to change how we're used to watching a game of Call of Duty for sure.
Yeah, so Instinct obviously being one team, Nonagon. We'll have a quick look at the team of five that these guys will be stacking up with as well, because obviously they're going to have to be the team that potentially come out of this one. Obviously, it's a blank canvas here in Group C. So far within the groups, so no points currently on the board. And the team of five representing Nonagon this evening going to be Devilman, Zuri. I'm going to go. I mean, maybe I've got a problem. When I glanced at his name, I instantly thought Beer, but I'm going to go with Niner or Nine, and then Swewa and 4G for this team of five. But again, Mark, blank canvas for us. I think this is kind of the beauty of not having an idea too much about the players, is that we kind of get to go in with a completely blank slate and let the COD do the talking rather than have kind of the assumptions and expectations on certain players as we kind of like slowly tiptoe our way into COD Mobile.
Yeah, definitely for sure. It's definitely going to be an interesting one to see the different players and how they perform for the first time, especially on here on the UCE stage, but also for us to kind of get to know their names, get to see them around the map, and see what they can do on that map and whether they're going to change it. I've been told that Nonagon are one of these teams where they could potentially be a team to upset one of these tier one sides. They are a tier two side themselves, but they have been one of these sides you've got to keep an eye on for, because you just don't know what they're going to bring to the table. And their Hardpoint has been one of their
Yeah.
best game modes, so Hardpoint's obviously up first, so that's going to be an interesting one for both of them.
I mean, reaching back on kind of experiences that we've had, anyways, even just COD multiplayer in general, there's not exactly been a shortage of times where teams that we don't really know a huge amount of have all of a sudden started to come to the forefront in a short space of time. Obviously, COD Mobile's been around a long old time now, and you've probably got kind of these more well-established players, I think is probably the best way of phrasing it. But again, because of
Yeah.
the accessibility that people have to the game, it's a case of everyone's got access to it. It's not exactly a high bar to reach to gain access to the game and kind of put yourself on the map. So it's one of those platforms where it gives everyone an opportunity, and it wouldn't surprise me if over the years in COD Mobile, and again with the EACS as well, we might just find the odd player or two kind of floating about in rosters that again aren't the favourites, but they have those moments where you think, oh, hang on a minute, he's got a little bit extra about him, and then wouldn't surprise us if we start to see them kind of rise up those tiers of teams.
Right, yeah, certainly. Well, we'll definitely look to see that, especially for some of these African sides, because obviously this is going to be new territory for them as well. They're up against a different region, and we always know across the regions, whether it's on Call of Duty or even Call of Duty Mobile, I'm sure there's different ways of playing the game and different strategies that seem to come out for both, and you always feel like there's always one nation that you want to try and beat for the most part, or even just actually find it difficult because they tend to be the more experienced sides. So coming up against like the EU sides when they eventually do that in this group for sure is going to be a bit of a difficult task for them, I'm sure. But it'll be good to see if they could stand their ground as well. You've got a player like 4G. I'm hoping he's not running on 4G. He wants to have 5G connection so he can get the best experience for COD Mobile, I'm sure. But yeah, the teams like these two will be interesting to see where they stand and how nervous they are going into the first match of the tournament for sure.
Yeah, I suppose we'll touch on the maps as well. Obviously, best of three in the group games. We've got Summit, Coastal, and Raid. And again, for us coming from multiplayer, seeing these maps from older generations of Call of Duty is something that we've been screaming out for in COD multiplayer for a huge amount of time. And kind of COD Mobile has nailed it with kind of those good competitive map sets. We've got it again here. I'm really looking forward actually to that Coastal because I love that game. I love that map. Apologies. In the previous iterations of COD, and again Raid, we saw it in Cold War as well, where we had a little bit of it where it got brought back in through DLC. But COD Mobile, they keep the good maps in. So we've got kind of three maps that anyone who's kind of played across the iterations of COD is going to be familiar with, and they're mixy maps. Let's not get it twisted. Summit map 1 is going to be a bloodbath one way or another. There's going to be a lot of kills, a lot of engagements, and on a game mode like Hardpoint, you just know everything's going to be kicking off left, right, and centre.
Yeah, I mean, there's an extra player on each side as well. There's definitely going to be a lot of kills going into this as well. But like I said, these maps are going to be interesting to see how they play on COD Mobile for myself. And also, like, I'm an old boy, but my brain doesn't remember back to half of these maps. That's how far ago it feels like I've played these ones. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see where it comes into play and the use of their operators and their skills that they have and all the different weapon choices as well to these maps is definitely going to change how we're used to watching it, but also how it's going to be played out. It will be interesting for sure. There's so many fancy little things that go on in COD Mobile as well with the deaths and stuff as well. So it just definitely makes an interesting watch for sure. And for our first watch and cast over, it's going to be even more fun, I'm sure.
Yeah, I was going to say I had to stack up on a bit of caffeine before this one because I've got a feeling that the kind of the stimulant on the screen is going to kind of send our brains into kind of meltdown through phases of these. Yeah, literally, mate. Yeah, so we'll see how map 1 goes. Obviously, you touched on the operators as well, Mark. They bring kind of that extra aspect to the game as well. I remember it's been years now since we've had them in multiplayer, but kind of the ability to rack up a huge amount of kills, especially on respawn, or have big moments like with Tempests. Throughout the generations on Black Ops 4, was it? I think the Tempest. So we've got kind of opportunities where these guys can have big moments and make kind of a big standout kind of set play within some of these maps. So it's just a case, again, we don't really know too much about the guys, but we're going to see what they've got here in map number 1, that's for sure.
Yeah, instantly you're going to see the scores on there. That is all their UCE performances as it stands. Obviously, there's a very few for some of these teams because this is their first time here, so they only come from their qualifying stage, which Instinct already took on Nonagon and won 2-0. And we've been told that there's a chance that there's very few games that have gone so far to 3 maps, right? So I might even get the chance to see Raid, which is one of the maps I'm really looking forward to seeing, hopefully. But we kick our things off and we're into our first hardpoint and our first kill going away of Zuri, but it's going to be quick and dicey straight into it, and he's going off with hardpoint in control of Nonagon at this stage. Just for a second though, as they get all 4 dead in the feed, and that's exactly what you need if you're a team that's on the kind of side that you'd be expected to be down to start with.
Yeah, so Nonagon with already a bit of an early start. I mean, we've mentioned it kind of across the years of COD, Mark, kind of a team that can control a P1 right off the rip. Again, for the likes of us who don't necessarily know a huge amount about the teams and the players, a P1 can be a very good kind of marker for what we're potentially going to get in a series, especially if one team holds the lion's share of time. And already it looks as though Nonagon straight in the kill feed. You can see it is all yellow.
Oh, there you go. There's another 3 dead. Here's finding 2 in a row. He will eventually get picked off by 4G. Trade's going back and forward, but Nonagon's done a good, solid start here. And as you see as well, if you're for us as well, the time will keep ticking. There is no stoppage time when you get on that hardpoint or whatever, and so it's going to be interesting to see how this works out because it's up to 250 target, just like normal. But time will just keep going and going and going until we get there. But Nonagon, we have said they're one of the strong hardpoint teams that you have to keep an eye on and can create an upset so far it's looking good for them as they continue to keep going, as Vepex finds a double as well. Yeah, I mean, Fury kill, there we go, just keep going, don't stop.
Yeah, I was going to say, at the time, 19 in his hand is looking very good indeed. There's another couple of kills that come through for Vepex, and more time is being converted. Vepex grabs one. Finally, a couple of kills come through from Nonagon. Mandem able to get one, and we're going to see our first operator, the Sparrow, straight in towards the hands of them, and it will be potentially an operator that doesn't necessarily get a huge amount of kills, Mark, but it offers teams an opportunity to get a lot of map control and essentially keep players nowhere near this hill. And you look at the scoreline at the moment, and Nonagon are just completely controlling that P2, and they've had a huge chunk of time off of it.
Yeah, imagine a lead like this going into a game up against Instinct. Not expecting the worst, considering you went down 2-0 quite quickly, 250 to 1-3. Was their first hardpoint in the qualifiers, but that was over on Hassie end of this map. It's definitely looking good here for Nonagon as they continue to find kills in that feed. Mantra will find it onto Zuri, but he's going to be traded back out. Charisma with the double kill. Look for that bloodthirsty on all. Going to continue it with the, the equalizer in hand, but there we go, look at that. This is the thing with these operators. You just have so much more chance of finding these multi-kills, and also that Pred missile will come out as well and find another. Oh my god, what a little feed he's been on.
Yeah, you can see the limbs in the bottom right. 16 currently standing for Charisma, and they have got this hill pretty much locked down. He's still just waiting for any more engagements, and the problem with Instinct is every single time they get remotely close to touching the hill, they just get absolutely caned off of it. So Mantra locking down the front side of time. You've got a few players on the side of Instinct looking to shell out, but the shotgun is going to just make sure that nobody comes within touching distance as he waits for them to fly around the corner. Device is actually going to grab a kill onto Mandem, and Sweeper will fall as well. So Instinct, they have really being able to get anywhere near that time. It's been locked at 9 seconds for them, and you do worry now, Mark, with the way the clock is going. They've got a few seconds, but the Annihilator in the hands now of Vepex is, again, they are using these operators. They're getting them so quickly as well with the sheer number of kills that they're getting.
Yeah, they're just absolutely destroying it. They're halfway there towards that target of 250 and just looking dominating. Nightly in hand is the one I was been looking forward to seeing. He finds the King Slayer and he finds the Berserker. And there we go. A couple of good kills going the way of Apex. And he will eventually be picked off there by 4G. And I feel like anybody that's taken anybody off the street, it seems to be 4G at this point in time. But there you go. Once again, followed back by 3 to 4 dead in the feed for Nonagon. And they have managed to get in control of this time. War Machine in hand as well. This could be absolute just area control that they need to stop anybody getting anywhere near this hardpoint.
Yeah, Sweeper should be pretty dead as well. Oh, no, Sweeper actually, he's got his own War Machine by the looks of it. He's just lobbed one straight back at him, and again, it's still going to be a little bit of a contest for now, but that kill feed lights up yellow yet again for Nonagon, and the hopes for Instinct in map 1 are slowly starting to whittle away a little bit now. He is going to pick off a kill, but again, this time the trade comes through, so Mandem, he looks to be kind of a bit of a standalone player on the side of Instinct that is at least trying to battle back and forth with some of these Nonagon players, but it is just constant yellow in the kill feed, and they are not stopping it anytime soon. The P1 is now ready to go again, and the kind of the operators that they've thrown at some of these hills have just given them every single bit of time pretty much off the back of them, and you're looking at now a 150-point score line, and Nonagon, they don't look like they're slowing down.
Oh, definitely not. You can see it still with the kills overall. They're just outslaying their opposition of Instinct. 3 of their players of the 5 have not managed to get over double figures yet. That's not what's going to help you in this Call of Duty side of things with the way that slaying and getting into that control and into that hardpoint. You need to find multiple kills, but... Oh, yeah, so actually, this is what we were saying. It was one-sided, right? We've been calling it this time, but Nonagon, actually, the names are flipped on the other side. So, actually, Nonagon is the team that's actually losing, I'm afraid. Chat, just... See, we knew we butchered something. The HUD's wrong, and we were just being getting carried away with what we were seeing on screen. Chat, but yeah, yeah. That'll explain why it's such a big, massive difference. And we were expecting the lower team to not be as solid as they were, but yeah, Instinct are out slaying here at the moment, and Eeyore with 30 kills, looking to continue. If Epics and Mantra once again finding a couple of kills, but yeah, that'll make it a little bit more easier to understand why the tier 1 team seems to be. Not losing that big. That makes sense.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it was a case of, well, we was talking about Nonagon for the first, I'll say half, but we're pretty much towards the end of that one. But it's actually all Instinct. So yeah, apologies guys, it's going to be the other way around. But Instinct at the moment, say they are very much running away still with this. There's a little bit of time Nonagon are able to at least accumulate, but the amount of hill pressure that they're having at the moment is just proving unstoppable for Nonagon at the moment. And you're going to find out Zuri able to get one pick before he does go down. Then we're going to try and hunt one courtesy of the machine pistol in hand as well. A few more players in and around him that he might be able to potentially tag up. But again, that kill feed with more operators coming through. I believe the second war machine now coming through. A lot better though from Nonagon. Zuri's going to pick off 2. So at least that's going to give them a little bit of a contest on the time. But again, you just constantly see that when there's an opportunity to soak some time up, Instinct just shut them down.
Yeah, exactly. The Mantra finding free in the feed there, it stops them, slows them down as well. And you've got 40 seconds away from victory here on map 1. They're just absolutely flawless. And Nonagon not really getting a sniff at it here on this hardpoint, but it's looking to see if they can try and find a wee comeback, at least try and build up some more points. They are on that hardpoint just now. The contest comes in and eventually will be won for Instinct. Only for a matter of seconds there as a couple of kills from the war machine from Swiwa does manage to take control of that hardpoint. Vepexo just on the outskirts, gets the rest of the team coming in, and Instinct will break on through and potentially got the chance to close this out here if they can hold it for the remaining time, and that will be 3 dead once again in for Instinct. Make that 4, so that's definitely going to be more time going their way and potentially that winning victory.
Yeah, Vepex just locking down that long side of the map as well, and you can see there on the screen only 20 more seconds remain, so I do believe if my math is correct they can actually win it off this hill. You've got, here you go, here just watching that lane for anyone to try and pinch around the back of the hill. They're going to pretty much have to just bundle in through the front door, but again, you're going to have death machines and everything meeting you on the other side of it, and it's just anyone that gets anywhere near to contesting it is just going to get absolutely eviscerated, and it will be Instinct with a very convincing 250 to 60 in the end mark. And there you go. So the confusion at the start completely whittled away as we realised.
What do you mean it wasn't Nonagon that won?
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Sorry, chat. We are
apologies,
sorry,
guys. Apologies, guys. It happens. It happens. But
we'll get used to it. Supposedly in chat as well, there's the N9 tag, which actually stands for Nonagon. But yeah, we'll know that for the future. And some teams don't have tags, some teams do. I guess it will help at some points. But on the scoreboard door, as it stands, Device getting your MVP. He was absolutely solid. 40 kills to his name as well.
By the way,
with I know 40 and 18. That is just crazy.
Well, there you go. That was very one-sided. I mean, we kind of lean on when it goes to obviously the transition and the kind of the positives that you can kind of take away from it. Mark, is map 1 and map 2 obviously different game modes, and obviously Search and Destroy is a game mode where it does slow down very, very like significantly. But I mean, off the back of that map 1, you can't really think anything else different is going to happen going into map 2. Obviously, there is that opportunity for that kind of that upset, as we'd probably categorize it as, off the back of that map 1, and maybe tie up the series. But that expectation of map 3 being very unlikely looks as though at least it's pretty much business as usual for these lads. As 250 to 60 is very much a case of feet up, done the job. And when you've got a man dropping 40 and 18, I mean, you just let him fry really at that point.
Yeah, pretty much just let him fry. Going into this, so like the fact that there's the snipers, this is going to definitely change things. The First Bloods might actually change things with the snipes. Maybe people hiding in corners with the shotguns. I mean, this is what I'm looking forward to here for Search and Destroy, because this is what brings us back to the old school. You don't want to be in these lanes for too long, because that sniper will take you right out the window, and it doesn't matter where you are, you'll be peaked quickly. I'm sure, especially even on Call of Duty Mobile, I have seen so many good, quick, clean snipes that are just, I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, how are you reacting like that on mobile? Or even on whatever it is, they're using, some of them using tablets, etc., obviously as well. But yeah, I mean, I don't think I could move that quickly, even with a controller, never mind with the use of my fingers and thumbs. So that is a good reaction, and that's going to be what could potentially change it. We did say that Nonagon's best mode tends to be Hardpoint, but it didn't look that great there. But up against Instinct, the team that's probably the standout side in Africa, I mean, it's a hard game to come up against them, for sure.
Yeah, and I think as well, kind of being a bit of an underdog team, you're going to have to lean quite heavily on First Bloods. And this is kind of, again, where we take our background from multiplayer. Snipers aren't a thing for us, so going into COD Mobile, it's a case now of we have the opportunity to see those plays where those players that are mechanically gifted with snipers can get collaterals, 1-piece, 2-piece, and kind of have those pop-off moments, as we kind of talk about sometimes. So it's there's a lot of variety associated with COD Mobile, and I think that's where it will give us a bit more of an insight into different strats and how teams opt to try and play it. Because again, like you mentioned, if you're looking to hold a close corner and you've got a man set up with a shotgun, there's 9 times out of 10, unless you get absolutely pissed on, it's going to be a case of that player should get that kill. So in terms of the strats and kind of the intricacies of search and destroy, I think there's going to be a lot of kind of lanes that are quite significantly locked down with the likes of the snipers and the shotguns, and anyone who kind of tries to venture in is essentially going to be quite heavily baited and leaning on the fact that their teammate can probably get a trade off the back of it at least to try and maybe break a site.
Yeah, certainly. The thing is as well, like that last obviously map where the way they were out slaying, right? Instinct just absolutely dominating. They were bringing up like multiple score streaks. They were bringing up obviously there's operators as well. They were getting so many uses of it because of the amount of kills they were getting. There's not going to be the same amount of kills technically going forward in the search and destroy. So it'll be a bit harder to find these operator skills. But there is that chance that sometimes you just go on a little wee streak, you do get the chance, and that could be what shifts the game mode completely in your favor as well. So if you are like a team like Nonagon, you get a couple for like the first bloods or whatever, you get a couple of good kills going towards you. You keep your work towards your use of your operator skill, and then there's a chance you can actually find some good kills with that as well in the round. Yeah. So that could be a change of how the search and destroy might play out.
Yeah, and again, we can see the stats on the screen of say Nonagon and Instinct, but it's going to have to be a map here where Nonagon try and keep that map record, just pushing it out a little bit, because at the moment it does look very much like Instinct are the team in the driving seat, currently 4-0 from the UCE statistics. And as we get ready for Coastal Search and Destroy, we'll see what these guys have got in offer for us. So first round, it will be Nonagon on the offense, and it's just going to be a little bit of a split from across the team. There's obviously a lot of information to be gained across the map, Mark, and already you can see a split from both of those teams.
Yeah, 100%. And you know, I think I like about this little map overlay is you do get to see where these nades are going over the map, which is really good information just for us as well, just to kind of see if there's going to be a chance of picking somebody off as well.
Yeah.
But so far, no first blood yet, and nobody really kind of getting too much information on where this bomb could potentially be going here from Nonagon, as they are just still holding lanes and holding their angles, waiting for maybe that first blood pick that we said could be crucial. But yes, we will be the first to fall.
War Mantra versus 4G. 4G is not moving. Mantra's desperately trying to bait that first kill down towards the middle portion of the map, but nothing as of yet. Meanwhile, though, Device just laying prone. You can see Ear not too far from him as well, just waiting for that right time to see if he can grab a kill. Again, they're playing this really, really slowly at the moment. 45 seconds. Bomb's still not down, so obviously they are going to be a little bit pressed for time. Looks as though they're going to try and bait a little bit of some movement out towards the middle of the map. Zuri, got to be careful because he's trapped now in towards the middle, and that's a really nice kill. That comes through. It's going to be a 3 versus 3, though, and I would assume that bomb in the hands is going to go down very, very shortly, because that B site is looking very clear now.
Yeah, Devilman making his way towards that B-bomb site. There's going to be another player supporting him. That's going to be Mandem, but Vepex has got some more knowledge on another player. They are down the deficit now, though. It's Nonagon have the bomb down and now have that man advantage. Going into this one, it's going to be all down to Vepex and Charisma. What can Vepex do here? Is he going to get the information? Does he hear that slide? My question is, 4G with that snipe in hand does get damage done against him. We'll get the assist there from Charisma, but Vepex will eventually fall to Mandem. Makes it a 1 versus 2. Charisma with all to play against him, and time ticking down to 20 seconds left on that clock. Can he do it?
Yeah,
there's one.
Oh. I'll tell you what, squeaky bum time, but nice work there. Regardless from Nonagon, unfortunately, the timer kind of got the better of them. You could see what they were trying to do there, Mark. Obviously, play it carefully, see if anyone was going to give them a little bit of a pick there. But Nonagon, to be fair to them, they kind of bunkered down in towards Wine, got the bomb down, and yeah, just made sure they made Instinct work for every single kill.
Yep, there you go. Cindy's flying over the top. No connections there. It's going to be Instinct this time. Has that defending side. Looking to see again is Nonagon once again on the attacking side. Seeing if that nade here, Devilman's prepping a nade to go over the top towards that B-bomb site. Unfortunately, it was going to hit a wall and not go anywhere further forward. And that means that Devilman will be picked off. Device finding the kill. Manta getting a snipe, and all of a sudden it's a quick 4 or 5 dead, and there's the tied up game. Instinct and Nonagon tied at 1-1 with Instinct once again on that defense.
Yeah, I think that was just a round of just kind of winning your ones. There was a I think it might have been maybe Vepex versus Devilman over towards the A site, where again 1 versus 1, they just came out on top very, very efficiently there in that one. Instinct, every single player pretty much contributed, and I don't believe they dropped any kills. You can kind of see as well over towards the A site, number 5 on the side of Instinct is going to be able to grab that kill. So Charisma, again, another kill for him. Obviously had a really good map 1. His team across the whole board did. That bomb is going to go down at A, and now it's going to be every man on deck pretty much to try and make these kills come through for Nonagon.
Yeah, the thing is, Nonagon down that member, and they have got one player being a snipe, and that's going to be interesting to see what happens. I feel player 2 went invisible, went out, and then appeared again on that screen as if he was alive. But yeah, there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all completely down and out. Instinct get that recapture of that. The bomb, and we'll manage to take that lead here in the search and destroy for the first time. But yeah, it's interesting the way that it's gone back and forward here. But Nonagon obviously getting the bomb down twice now, has finally lost one of them attacks. But let's see if they can bring something back into this one again and try and get themselves back on level pegging.
I think this is one where we might potentially see how Instinct slowly ramp up towards the latter stage of this search and destroy, especially those 2 rounds there. Very convincing first gunfight comes through. Manda was actually able to win one. Mantra will get a pick though with that Tundra on towards Devilman, so it is going to be a 4 versus 4, and that bomb is going to be dropped right in middle map, so not ideal here for Nonagon. They're going to have to try and retrieve it and then try and decide where they're going to take it for the plant. Again, you've still got Device just trying to keep an eye over that middle map. Again, don't know whether or not he knows that bomb is down. The nade is going to try and flood for a little bit of information. The bomb is finally retrieved, and it looks as though they're probably going to take it over towards the A site, but you are going to have Charisma as that presence again over towards A.
Yeah, let's just see if they can send a stun down that right-hand side of the map there, trying to clear some way. They start to go in, but Charisma finds a massive 2. Handam and Zuru will fall, and now all of a sudden it is number advantage in favour of Instinct. Device will find another. The snipe comes out from ER, and all of a sudden Instinct are clearly taking the lead by 2.
Jeez. Well, there you go. Charisma. I suppose that's the advantage, Mark, of having those players that can kind of pop off. You can kind of leave them a little bit isolated and then get 1 kill at least at the minimum, potentially even 2. And yeah, the distance between the 2 teams just showing a little bit in the most recent rounds. Will be Nonagon back on the offense, and that bomb again has been dropped in a really precarious spot.
Yeah, it's right in the middle of the map. Multiple ways to watch it, but now down to Mandem. 1 versus 4. It's hard enough doing that in a normal scenario, never mind the fact that you're trying to be stuck in a position where the bomb was away. But yeah, it's a very, very tough task there. And Instinct will take a 3-round lead, looking very dominant so far in this series, and very dominant once again in the search and destroy. And with their opportunity now, can they try to get this closer and closer to that winning target of 7? They're not far off, and they're over halfway, which, as the way things have been going, and the amount of kills that they're getting across the board, Charisma has been one of these stand-up players that seems to be one of these few ones that you've got to keep an eye on them if you're on Nonagon. But there you go, Vepex will find 4G. Once again, the trade does come in though. Nice wee shots there, you say, sliding from the corner. The movement on this is considerably fast, considering, and quite good fluidity from some of these 2 teams. But this is the first time that you've seen Nonagon with the advantage in numbers. But Device is going to try and pull that back a little. Only by 1, but it's a chance.
Yeah, and they're playing together as well. This is what Instinct have done really well so far, is the kind of the bait and switch approach as he manages to retrieve a Tundra. Or there might be 1 pick ready and waiting for him. Sniper in. Device gets the pick onto Sweewas, and now it's going to be a 2 versus 2. And he is just going to be watching the back end of the site as well. So bomb goes down again from Nonagon, but you're looking towards this retake, and we'll see if Instinct can do it again very, very efficiently like they have done in previous rounds.
Yeah, see, this is the one thing that's caught me off guard. Is obviously Nonagon's been on the attack this whole time, but it's after 6 rounds that when it switches over. See, I'm not used to that. I'm used to this being back and forward. So when I'm seeing Nonagon attacking, I'm like, what's going on here? Why is it just them with a bomb every single time? But then, yeah, that makes sense. But the 2v2, 19 seconds left. Device looking to try and clear the zone and find if he can get a kill. But there we go. Eeyore and Device will find 2. 12 seconds on the clock. I'm assuming that's enough time to get the diffuser done, and that will be a 5-1 lead for Instinct. I'm assuming, if my card is right, and it is, there we go. The win does go the way of Instinct in the round. I can't believe they found it with such little time on their hands. Now Nonagon is going to be switched around. They're going to be the defending side, but they are already having to make sure they win more of these. They can't afford to lose at least one of these matches, because that makes it match point for Instinct.
Yep, and it is going to be Instinct on the offense this time, so we'll see what these boys decide to try and do. And it's, well, look on the mini-map, it is B, B, and go to B. There is, unfortunately, one man, number 4 in Zuri, who's going to be very much alone inside Wine. There's going to be a lot of players in and around. They've got control of the site. The bomb is down. The kill comes through. So he was able to pick one off to E, so at least it makes it a little bit easier for them. But you're looking now across the map, there is a little bit of a split approach, and unfortunately, it's going to be a 2 versus 4, and these blue arrows are on the hunt, Mark.
Yeah, they are hunting. You know what the thing is, when you're 5-1 up and you've got plenty of time there to try and get a couple of more wins, that's a wee bit of advantage. Just, you know what, we could just force our way in there, try and see if we could win one of these rounds, and you've just done that, exactly that. Instinct, full on pushing, just looking for any of these quick first bloods, and then even just trying to finish the team as quickly as possible. Now, match point, Instinct not far away. It is only one more round in the bag, and they will secure this W here in what could be probably the quickest fashion we've probably seen throughout the last few matches, anyway, for sure. But from day 1 and 2.
Well, 4G gets a couple, Devilman gets one as well, so a lot better there from Nonagon. They now have the numbers advantage, 4 versus 2. Mantra drops as well, so E has now got it all to do, unfortunately, in the 1 versus 4. Is going to potentially spot one in towards middle map. The last thing you're going to want to do is just start giving him picks, though. The machine pistol, though, unfortunately, in that position isn't going to be good enough. And a much better defensive hold there from Nonagon. Mark, they kind of read that B push a lot better. They stacked it heavily, and there's some really big kills coming through from them.
Yeah, and they definitely needed that round there just to get a wee bit of confidence and not make it look like it was far so one-sided. But Nonagon now is going to have still got a difficult task, no matter what. They can't falter at any point now with the fact it is going to be game over for them if they do lose the round. So the way it's going is a full A side push here this time around. Instinct switching things around, sending everything they possibly can. Everything but that kitchen sink for sure. They've managed to clear a lot of that zono and get on towards A. First blood and second go the favour of the side of Instinct, but it's handed back instantaneously with Devilman and the others finding one player back. But now you're in a 3 versus 2. The defence looking to find kills, but Mantra now makes it a 1 versus 3, all on 4G. Can he get the upgrade? He gets 1. He gets it with the life. He's got a sniper in hand, though, and it's only a sniper and a pistol. It's going to be a difficult task to find the other 2 members. But the good thing with the sniper is the 1-shot kill. Maybe just quick at it, but he's very limited on time. 20 more seconds left to do this. Has he got the ice in the veins? Has he got the snipe shot that he's going to need? Because 1 shot can clear this for him. He gets the chance off, misses, devices there, and he also get that close range. There you go. It will be a win for Instinct. 7 rounds to 2. A fantastic and fantastically quick search and destroy. Wow.
Yeah, we saw the kind of the phases in that one where Nonagon had moments, but I think kind of when Instinct kind of kicked up a gear, and especially when they were on the offense. Obviously on the defense, when we saw Instinct on defense, it was Nonagon that they were kind of setting the pace. So I think the round lengths kind of stretched out a little bit and maybe gave Nonagon a bit more of an attempt to try and play for a pick and try and isolate the players of Instinct. But then as soon as we saw Instinct on the offense, we just saw them absolutely fly through again. You look at the kills, Device, he's been that man as an A 10 and 3 apologies there from him. And then, yeah, not too far behind him really in Charisma at 11 and 4. On the flip side, Zuri struggled a little bit, but again, you kind of expect it, Mark, with the quality of player that it pretty much appears that Instinct have got across all of their team. And yeah, as we saw kind of on those offensive rounds when they started hitting sight as a uniform team. Obviously, that second to last round though, Nonagon did a really good job actually of countering it. But then as soon as they switched up, went to the other side, and Nonagon didn't have say 4 out of the 5 bodies there to kind of counter the talent that Instinct have got, it just kind of fell apart from, unfortunately.
Yeah, it certainly did. It's unfortunate. It's not an easy thing to take, but as it stands, it's the first time here in this. Now you've played against Instinct. You've got a chance to play against these 2 EU sides. So I mean, you've got your team that you're used to playing against. You played once against. You knew that you were kind of at a disadvantage in terms of the quality between the 2 sides. Whether they can bounce back now going into like week 2 and 3, see what they can do. Fingers crossed for Nonagon. They want to kind of learn a few things from that map, maybe, because Instinct's aggression was phenomenal. It was quick, it was fast paced, and most of it throughout the whole. I'm kind of actually gutted now. Nonagon wasn't on the right scoreline at the start of Hardpoint because I wanted to see Raid. I'm kind of gutted.
We just wanted that map 3, man. I'll tell you.
Yeah, I was wanting a map 3 already, just so we get more chance of doing the squad mobile side of things. But I mean, a good first match for us for sure, just to see what the strength that Instinct did bring to it. And Device was just a standout player throughout the whole series.
Yeah, and I think as well, kind of we can see kind of the ability that obviously that Instinct roster have got. It will be good when they obviously come up against the likes of Revenge and the likes of Animus, to see kind of where they weigh up against those EU hitters as well. Because obviously for us, as terms of being new to it, it's a case of we'll just let the COD do the talking rather than the reputation of the team. So be interested to see how those teams weigh up against each other. But speaking of Revenge and speaking of Animus, we are going to have them on your screen very shortly, guys. We'll throw it to a quick break, and when we come back, we will have the Battle of EU next here in the EACS 2025 in Group C.
For the cross server tournament, giving Africa a chance, because I think we're invited. So yeah, big shout out to them. So really appreciate the organizers too. So yeah, and good night.
Good evening, ladies and gents, and welcome back to yet another interview with another African team. This time around, it's Instinct, and I have Device here with me. Device, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good, Blood. How about you?
I'm doing good, and now it's a pleasure to have you here. And since I have you here, I'm going to ask you quite a few questions. Can you tell me something about the history of Instinct? How did Instinct become the team they are now?
Okay, so like Instinct was basically like a group of friends. Like all of the team is like Egyptian based. Like I think like 5 of us or like 4 of us are Egyptian. We started as friends and then like we played rank and stuff like that. Then we moved on to the comp scene. Like we started with 2 players. After that we expanded, 4 Egyptians, then 5 Egyptian. Then we got into like the African scene. After that, we went to the team of SSS Africa. We were playing there for like, I think like 3 to 6 months. And then the team got disbanded. Then we rebranded again as Instinct for the Carry First tournament and African champs.
Okay, you mentioned the rebranding going on. What was the thought behind the team name Instinct?
So it's quite funny though. Like we used to play with a guy in SSS. His name was Instinct. He was like this very good guy with us. And like we're like, hey, let's make a name. Okay, let's name it Instinct after him, because like we used to love this guy a lot.
All right. Can you tell me more about the players in your team, like their in-game names or the names they are known by, and also what specific role do they play in the team, be that the guns they use or also the role as in OBJ, Slayer, stuff like this?
Okay, so like let's start at first. So firstly, like the team is consistent. Like the main team, it has like 7 players or like six. No, I mean 6 players. 5 are Egyptian. One is Senegal. So let's start with the Senegal. Our Senegalese player, his name is Kun. Kun is mainly an SMG player, and he plays like anchoring, switching spawn, stuff like that. Then we go forward with Eor. Eor is gonna play like he's our main AR guy. He's like the playing like the edgy corner guy. Like you will find him in every corner where you go. But he's like the main AR and smokes guy. Then we have Charisma. Charisma is like the main like slayer of the team. You get me? He's very good with gunfights. That's why, and he also plays SMG with us. Then you have Mantra. Mantra is mainly our sniper, but at the same time he also plays SMG. Then for me, I play flex. Sometimes I play SMG, sometimes I play AR. I'm flexible with that. And we have Vebex. Vebex is our main AR guy. Mainly in role is like anchor and holding OBJ.
Interesting. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in action, and now with your input as well, I'll keep an eye on everybody and see what they're doing. Do you guys have a coach?
Currently, no, we didn't have a coach. We don't have a coach.
Do you think that is a huge disadvantage for you? Like, do you feel like teams that actually have a coach have the edge when it comes to a face-to-face battle with you guys?
Yes, like coaches like give a decent kind of advantage because like they overall like give you a general guideline what to do, what not to do, stuff like that, and correcting some errors. But like uh, not having a coach like doesn't stop you from playing. You get me? It's like it is what it is. No coach, you just play until like maybe a coach arrives.
That is also one way to go about it. You guys have been playing together for quite a while. Can you tell me something about the accomplishments of your team so far?
So, firstly, like the team got made. I think like we knew each other like from 3 years ago. We were playing like ranked, some African tournaments, stuff like that. But there were like a bit of restrictions. But like until now, we got a few accomplishments. Our first one was like this Rogue weekly tournament. That was our first win in African scene. Then after that, we moved on and we got what do you call it? The first place in the tribe tournament. It was like a country-based tournament, and Egypt got the first place. Then after that, we moved to carry first. We got first place in Egypt qualifiers, but unfortunately, we got disqualified after that. Then for ACL, we got third place as SSS like SSS team. That's until now. But right now, we're still pushing for the number one spot in carry first
No.
qualifiers in Egypt.
All right. Well, quite a few accomplishments already under your belt. Are you looking to make EACS one of those accomplishments? And by an accomplishment, I
Yeah.
mean, are you looking to win the entire thing, or what exactly are your expectations coming into this tournament?
So the groups just like they have been announced for like a few hours ago. I think like the groups are like kind of balanced. Like especially like looking at our group, we have Animus, which is gonna be like they're gonna give us like the toughest battle because like they're very old to the game. They're very good at it. Nonagons, we played them a lot, but like this can still give us a fight, but like not as strong as Animus. And for Revenge, I don't know to be honest, because like we haven't played them like much over the last like period. But like our toughest games are gonna be like Animus for sure.
Yeah, Animus are definitely the favorites, almost in the entire thing, not just in your group. Revenge, they are solid, but they haven't really been very active. Like they barely scrim. We'll see how they'll manage to do. But yeah, you have Nonagon, an African team, a team that I'm assuming you're very familiar with as well. So, do you think you're going to be able to get that second spot and make it into the knockout stage?
Probably yes. Yes, like we can hopefully like we can guarantee like the second spot in this like group to be honest at this point.
All right. Well, you are one of the 8 teams representing the region of Africa. How does that feel for you guys as a team?
So like an African scene, like there is not that many teams to be honest at this point, but representing it, especially for like because like you have been banned from almost like every tournament in Africa, but like it's very like a nice feeling to us. It's like you're very proud that you reached that spot where like you're representing a whole continent for like the first time.
Well, I wish you the best of luck. But before I give you the stage to say whatever you want to all the viewers, I have one more question.
Yeah, go ahead.
who do you think is the best African player out there participating in EACS?
The best African player? It's gonna be rude if I say me, but like I will have to let
No,
it go with charisma.
it,
I will have to let it go with
it's not rude at all. If your opinion, if that's your opinion, it's your opinion. Do you think you're the
Nah.
best African player?
Nah, currently right now I think the best like goes to charisma
All right.
right now.
Well,
Like he's being very consistent like for the past period, but he's very good.
okay. We'll keep an eye on charisma and we'll see what he can do in EACS. As I promised you, you have the opportunity to say whatever you like to everybody watching right now, be that the fans of your team, the haters. The stage is yours.
Okay, like one thing like we always use is like chop rice, chop rice. That's what we always do when you get into a game.
All right. Well, ladies and gents, that was a device from Instinct, and that's the interview for tonight. Thank you very much for tuning in, and have a great rest of your evening. Enjoy the rest of the action in EACS.
Okay, thank you, Blood.
Good evening, ladies and gents, and welcome back to yet another interview with another African team. This time around, it's Instinct, and I have Device here with me. Device, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good, Blood. How about you?
I am
Happy to be
doing
here.
I'm doing good, and now it's a pleasure to have you here. And since I have you here, I'm going to ask you quite a few questions. Can you tell me something about the history of Instinct? How did Instinct become the team they are now?
Okay, so like Instinct was basically like a group of friends. Like all of the team is like Egyptian based. Like I think like five of us or like four of us are Egyptian. We started as friends and then like we played rank and stuff like that. Then we moved on to the comp scene. Like we started with two players. After that we expanded, four Egyptians, then five Egyptian. Then we got into like the African scene. After that we went to the team of SSS Africa. We were playing there for like I think like 3 to 6 months. And then the team got disbanded. Then we rebranded again as Instinct for the Carry First tournament and African champs.
Okay, you mentioned the rebranding going on. What was the thought behind the team name Instinct?
So it's quite funny though. Like we used to play with a guy in SSS. His name was Instinct. He was like this very good guy with us. And like we're like, hey, let's make a name. Okay, let's name it Instinct after him, because like we used to love this guy a lot.
All right. Can you tell me more about the players in your team, like their in-game names or the names they are known by, and also what specific role do they play in the team, be that the guns they use or also the role as in OBJ, Slayer, stuff like this?
Okay, so like let's start at first. So firstly, like the team is consistent. Like the main team, it has like 7 players or like six. No, I mean 6 players. 5 are Egyptian. One is Senegal. So let's start with the Senegal. Our Senegalese player, his name is Kun. Kun is mainly an SMG player, and he plays like anchoring, switching spawn, stuff like that. Then we go forward with Eor. Eor is gonna play like he's our main AR guy. He's like the playing like the edgy corner guy. Like you will find him in every corner where you go. But he's like the main AR and smokes guy. Then we have Charisma. Charisma is like the main like slayer of the team. You get me? He's very good with gunfights. That's why, and he also plays SMG with us. Then you have Mantra. Mantra is mainly our sniper, but at the same time he also plays SMG. Then for me, I play flex. Sometimes I play SMG, sometimes I play AR. I'm flexible with that. And we have Vebex. Vebex is our main AR guy. Mainly in role is like anchor and holding OBJ.
Interesting. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in action, and now with your input as well, I'll keep an eye on everybody and see what they're doing. Do you guys have a coach?
Currently, no, we didn't have a coach. We don't have a coach.
Do you think that is a huge disadvantage for you? Like, do you feel like teams that actually have a coach have the edge when it comes to a face-to-face battle with you guys?
Yes, like coaches like give a decent kind of advantage because like they overall like give you a general guideline what to do, what not to do, stuff like that, and correcting some errors. But like uh, not having a coach like doesn't stop you from playing. You get me? It's like it is what it is. No coach, you just play. until like maybe a coach arrives.
That is also one way to go about it. You guys have been playing together for quite a while. Can you tell me something about the accomplishments of your team so far?
So, firstly, like the team got made. I think like we knew each other like from 3 years ago. We were playing like ranked, some African tournaments, stuff like that. But there were like a bit of restrictions. But like until now, we got a few accomplishments. Our first one was like this Rogue weekly tournament. That was our first win in African scene. Then after that, we moved on and we got what do you call it? The first place in the tribe tournament. It was like a country-based tournament, and Egypt got the first place. Then after that, we moved to carry first. We got first place in Egypt qualifiers, but unfortunately, we got disqualified after that. Then for ACL, we got third place as SSS like SSS team. That's until now. But right now, we're still pushing for the number one spot in carry first qualifiers in Egypt.
All right. Well, quite a few accomplishments already under your belt. Are you looking to make EACS one of those accomplishments? And by an accomplishment, I mean, are you looking to win the entire thing, or what exactly are your expectations coming into this tournament?
So the groups just like they have been announced for like a few hours ago. I think like the groups are like kind of balanced. Like especially like looking at our group, we have Animus, which is gonna be like they're gonna give us like the toughest battle because like they're very old to the game. They're very good at it. Nonagons, we played them a lot, but like this can still give us a fight, but like not as strong as Animus. And for Revenge, I don't know to be honest, because like we haven't played them like much over the last like period. But like our toughest games are gonna be like Animus for sure.
Yeah, Animus are definitely the favorites. Almost in the entire thing, not just in your group. Revenge, they are solid, but they haven't really been very active. Like they barely scrim. We'll see how they'll manage to do. But yeah, you have Nonagon, an African team, a team that I'm assuming you're very familiar with as well. So, do you think you're going to be able to get that second spot and make it into the knockout stage?
Probably yes. Yes, like we can hopefully like we can guarantee like the second spot in this like group to be honest at this point.
All right. Well, you are one of the 8 teams representing the region of Africa. How does that feel for you guys as a team?
So like in African scene, like there is not that many teams to be honest at this point, but representing it, especially for like because like you have been banned from almost like every tournament in Africa, but like it's very like a nice feeling to us. It's like you're very proud that you reached that spot where like you're representing a whole continent for like the first time.
Well, I wish you the best of luck. But before I give you the stage to say whatever you want to all the viewers, I have one more question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Who do you think is the best African player out there participating in EACS?
The best African player? It's gonna be rude if I say me, but like I will have to let
no,
it go with charisma.
it's not rude at all. If your opinion, if that's your opinion, it's your opinion. Do you think you're the best African player?
Nah, currently right now I think the best like goes to charisma.
All right.
Right
Well,
now. Like he's being very consistent like for the past period, but he's very good.
okay, we'll keep an eye on charisma and we'll see what he can do in EACS. As I promised you, you have the opportunity to say whatever you like to everybody watching right now, be that the fans of your team, the haters. The stage is yours.
Okay, like one thing like we always use is like chop rice, chop rice. That's what we always do when you get into a game.
All right. Well, ladies and gents, that was a device from Instinct, and that's the interview for tonight. Thank you very much for tuning in, and have a great rest of your evening. Enjoy the rest of the action in EACS.
Okay, thank you, Blood.
Good evening, ladies and gents, and welcome back to yet another interview with another African team. This time around, it's Instinct, and I have Device here with me. Device, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good, Blood. How about you?
I'm doing good, and now it's a pleasure to have you here. And since I have you here, I'm going to ask you quite a few questions. Can you tell me something about the history of Instinct? How did Instinct become the team they are now?
Okay, so like Instinct was basically like a group of friends. Like all of the team is like Egyptian based. Like I think like five of us or like four of us are Egyptian. We started as friends and then like we played rank and stuff like that. Then we moved on to the comp scene. Like we started with two players. After that we expanded, four Egyptians, then five Egyptians. Then we got into like the African scene. After that we went to the team of SSS Africa. We were playing there for like I think like 3 to 6 months, and then the team got disbanded. Then we rebranded again as Instinct for the Carry First tournament and African champs.
Okay, you mentioned the rebranding going on. What was the thought behind the team name Instinct?
So it's quite funny though. Like we used to play with a guy in SSS. His name was Instinct. He was like this very good guy with us. And like we're like, hey, let's make a name. Okay, let's name it Instinct after him, because like we used to love this guy a lot.
All right. Can you tell me more about the players in your team, like their in-game names or the names they are known by, and also what specific role do they play in the team, be that the guns they use or also the role as in OBJ, Slayer, stuff like this?
Okay, so like let's start at first. So firstly, like the team is consistent. Like the main team, it has like 7 players or like six. No, I mean 6 players. 5 are Egyptian. One is Senegal. So let's start with the Senegal. Our Senegalese player, his name is Kun. Kun is mainly an SMG player, and he plays like anchoring, switching spawn, stuff like that. Then we go forward with Eor. Eor is gonna play like he's our main AR guy. He's like the playing like the edgy corner guy. Like you will find him in every corner where you go. But he's like the main AR and smokes guy. Then we have Charisma. Charisma is like the main like slayer of the team. You get me? He's very good with gunfights. That's why, and he also plays SMG with us. Then you have Mantra. Mantra is mainly our sniper, but at the same time he also plays SMG. Then for me, I play flex. Sometimes I play SMG, sometimes I play AR. I'm flexible with that. And we have Webex. Webex is our main AR guy. Mainly in role is like anchor and holding OBJ.
Interesting. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in action and now with your input as well. I'll keep an eye on everybody and see what they're doing. Do you guys have a coach?
Currently, no, we didn't have a.
Ladies and gents, welcome back to EACS 2025 here on COD Mobile. We've already had one Group C matchup, Instinct and Nonagon, put on a very colourful experience on the screen, Mark, with a lot of action going
certainly
on.
is.
But we've come away from Africa. The guys of Instinct, if you guys did miss it, did manage to take that 1-2-0 in a fairly convincing fashion. And now we move on to our second series of the evening between Revenge and Animus. I mean, Mark will reflect kind of on the series that we've just seen on the screen. The boys from Instinct, obviously, we saw the interview as well with Device on the screen, which was good to see because he was the man pretty much popping off on the last series. So yeah, it's always good to put faces to the people that we see produce those good moments on screen.
Oh yeah, certainly, because you don't really seem to see that on a lot of the Call of Duty casts that you do for their online streams, for example, and online competition. So that is a really good thing to see. And obviously, Device got the MVP for both their matches and stand-up performance from him. He was in there as well. A lot of his team is expecting all their different roles, doing them well. And Charisma, as he says, they're Slayer, but this time around it wasn't to be. It was actually Device. So I mean, he obviously thinks he's not the best in the world, but at least he's not too like. Big-headed or egotistical about it as well. Like he's like, I'm not the best in the game, and I know that, but he performed so well.
Yeah, so we'll have a look at the two teams on the cards for the next series. So we'll have a look at the Revenge roster. So again, if any of you guys are new to the COD mobile scene like myself and to Mark, obviously 5v5, and those 5 players are going to be Stevie. I believe we're going to go with Mayba, Barra, Side, Karata. Again, guys, apologies if these are the complete wrong pronunciations. Let us know. And then Issa for those 5 players. I've got a slightly different 5 players actually on my screen. I've got Mayba, Barra, Draka and Kiyosuke on my 5, but we'll wait and see regardless. We'll see the players in game. Oh, and the producers just let me know that yeah, I've said the right names, but just in different fashions because they are the same people. So that gives us a nice warm feeling, mind that we've got the right players in this team. But
Yeah,
again,
certainly.
a brand new slate of players to see who stands out on this Revenge roster for us.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, the other position obviously is going to be Animus, who is probably one of the favourites and probably the best side here that is going to be partaking throughout this whole EACS potentially. And on the screen, you're going to see the team that will consist of Narcs, Gutila, Says, Shark, and Sawu. And you know what? Sawu is one of these up-and-comer players. He's actually just recently transferred over from the Snapdragon series as well, where they were in the championship final. He came second, though, and funny enough, it was up against Animus, who are back-to-back Snapdragon champions as well. So he's transferred from the team that finished second to the team that finished first, and now looking to show what the 18-year-old from France can do, and taking part in the #1 team pretty much in the EU at this current stage. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this game's going to play out. I feel like Animus is definitely the side to be watching. He's the side that's looking to be kind of go on the distance all the way to that grand finals. Maybe Revenge can create an upset though here, starting off in his group, because it's just the first game here in the series. So, I mean, it should be an interesting watch for sure, and it's going to be the same maps as well. So we're going to be seeing both Summit and Coastal, that's the one. Yeah, there we go, Coastal, and potentially Raid if we go to map 3, which is very unlikely so far. The stats 5 from 5 are already all gone 2-0 so far. So can we change the meta here and the swing of difference here? You can obviously see Revenge has got a lot more appearances because they played a lot more in the UCE so far in multiple different opportunities in league standings. But Animus, this is their debut here, so the only 2 games they have played have been these qualifiers. So, and they've went on quite a clean sweep so far doing it, and are ranked second, just behind another team that actually they played in the finals and beat. So yeah, they're probably the #1 seed really in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, I think this is probably going to be a case of although we don't necessarily have an expectation for what we've seen previously on COD Mobile. Obviously, we'll shout out Brody as well, Infinity, because he's given us a little bit of information to the back end of this, and yeah, he's mentioned that this Animus roster are pretty much going to be the favourite in this one. So we'll still remain open-minded to it, but we'll see how they get on in this one, and it's going to be the boys of Animus just on the time right off the get-go. A couple of kills trading back and forth though. Narcs and Shark are going to grab a couple for Animus. A little bit of a contest comes through, and you can already see that kind of that shotgun presence in towards P1 mark.
That's what I'm used to doing, just jump off with a shotgun in hand, because it's a one shot, one kill, you hope for the most part, and it's pretty much the only accuracy I'm going to have. So one shot has to do it. If you do, you miss, you're dead, you're probably out of the game. But a good jump down there from Carter to find the kill. But it's pretty close here. It's pretty almost tied up. The contest comes in. Once again, Carter, like I said, that one shot kill isn't working out for him, as he does miss a couple of shots and will eventually fall. But Sawu throws a shotgun, and that's the one that gets the kill against him. You're going to see a couple of kills go back and forward though, but now Animus start to find the free streak in a row, and then it's finally stopped there by Gaizuki.
And Shark is very comfortable in and around P1 with this shotgun. He keeps getting kills. Finally does go down, courtesy of Barra. Maybe's going to manage to grab one as well. But again, you're going to find 2 kills in response once again from Animus. So that yellow kill feed is just going to benefit them ready for the next hill. But it's actually going to be the boys in blue of Revenge on the initial time. Karata and Maybe are going to grab a couple of kills just off the rip. And let's see here. It will be Says who's just using the Type 63 there to try and grab a couple of kills. The Sparrow's now actually going to get popped by Saywo here, and he's going to manage to grab May, but in that kill feed, as he unfortunately kills himself in all of that. But yeah, the initial time on P2, Revenge has got a decent amount of it, but Animus now starting to rack up quite a considerable amount of time. But that kill feed, tell you what, Revenge is still grabbing picks.
Yeah, there you go. Yes, even more in the feed. Revenge in control of the hardpoint, and their character has bring out the death machine. How much death can he bring? It's none, because Sawa will just shut him down straight away and finds a second, and then Shark all of a sudden will find the third, but the break still doesn't come in for too much longer. But there's only 9 seconds left on time. We'll be moving around into the next hardpoint, but it's almost a tied game, and definitely a little bit more competitive this side around compared to our last series, and it's good to see if this is going to go the distance and be a very close end game, as Animus do kind of start to make the rotation around the back. They have got the spawn side, they've got the chance to get in first, and they will start getting that time. Carter getting close by, but nothing dealt with there, and they're pushed quite far back. Revenge are going to lose quite a bit of time here.
Yeah, and Kiosku's going to try and fly in, gets one pick onto Shark, but the nades, and we'll say the nades, it's the war machine, it's the machine that produces the nades. Sage is able to crack down onto 3 players, and you can see the control that Animus have now got of this P3 is there well and truly. You can see the Shark was over towards the back of the hill. Everyone, though, inside are winning their individual gunfights, and it's going to be another set of kills, which Animus are just going to be able to get. So those blue arrows of revenge going to be spawning out once more. You're going to see a little bit of death rain from above. Shark again grabs another pick. And you're looking now towards this early rotation. At least one thing that Revenge can lean upon, Mark, is the fact that they are rotating a little bit earlier than obviously they would like to, but they're trying to at least keep the fundamentals going even when they're losing big waves and waves of gunfights, as Steve actually manages to grab a big couple of kills.
Yeah, he needs to stay alive there, though, because he's in that back spawn. He does eventually fall there as Narcs does pick him off, but the trades come back. He still gets that spawn there in the backside as well for Steve, but the Revenge are trying to make their break on, and Animus is building some good time. As it comes in, you're going to see the Annihilator pulled out. Katila finds one. Doesn't find the second there, but Sawo finds two. He's got the Sparrow out, and he's looking good with that Sparrow. He's finding lots more kills than we've seen in the last time. Last time it was kind of map control, but this time Sawo can find the kills with that Operator skill at hand. But 3 dead in the feed go the way of Revenge to get the break on. And now, can they stay and hold that hardpoint for a little bit longer? There's only 2 nearby, and all of Animus are looking to flood in.
Yeah, well, they're flying in. Shark, though, going to be able to grab a couple of kills. Saze does exactly the same as well. And just like that, the ability of Animus, you just see it again as they just completely clear through Revenge. 15 seconds remaining on this hill. There's still a decent chunk of time for them just to extend that lead out just that little bit more. The HS in the hands of Sawo looking very, very good. 25 kills for him already. And you can see he's got 78 seconds of kill time as well. So the shotgun players on the side of Animus really doing a good job in terms of the objective, and now he's going to look to try and fly around mid-map. Oh my god, I was going to say the SMG because he shot absolute beams with it, but the pistol there does wonders for him, and again it's going to be Animus back in the time.
Yeah, Animus are building the time so much nicer as well. Now they're starting to get that gap further and further from that one hard point full 60 seconds. And if they keep that going, it's going to be a very difficult task of Revenge to bring it back. But Narcs finds 2. That's the Tempest. But Stevie will answer back with that USS 9 in hand as well. He finds a couple. We'll try to get the break in, but the contest is in for now. Back towards mid-map is going to be very close to get the kills back and forward. If they can find off Narcs, there's a chance, but the War Machine comes in and closes him down inside the zone as well. And with these Operator skills coming out back and forward, is just so quick to fall to the floor and die and lose that chance that you just got to make that break as well.
Yeah, and that's the advantage that they've got with all the Operators in their back pocket, just using them as and when they need to as well. Every time Revenge get in the hill, it always feels like there's an Operator, whether it's a War Machine or whether it's just an absolute onslaught of nades that come into the hill. But Animus controlling the map for now. Over towards the P2, though, you have got one body, I believe it's Kiosko actually, that's taken that side of the map, and it will be again another kill that comes through for Sawo. 35 limbs now for him, and growing furthermore. We're going to see the streak come down from above. There's another one for him as he looks to take down Curator, and he's able to do it. Does finally get traded out, but you're looking inside the hill, and again it's Animus all over it. So Keith is going to try and grab a couple. It's only going to be one before the trade does come through. You can see again there's some streaks flying around and a War Machine batting it as well, as it becomes a little bit of carnage on the hill, and at least Revenge have got the contest.
Yeah, absolutely chaos. Revenge at least get the contest, like you says, and they need to try and get some more time on this. They are still at 120 seconds behind. That's 2 full hard points. So Animus really don't need to go competing for every single early rotation, although I'm sure they will be looking to do that straight away, as we'll be losing 12 more seconds of scrap time. Won't matter too much to Animus at this point, so they'll be trying to set up in the back where they have got trying to get control of either the water tank side or at least at their home back base, but it does seem to be flipped out. Revenge have the spawns for the next hardpoint in Blue House. Can they keep the kills going their way though? Or Sawo going to go on a little spree. He doesn't manage to get more than one, but Narcs' teammate will find one. Says will find another. There's a couple players dead in that feed from the Revenge side. The break does come in, and Animus are in control with spawns getting close enough, but stuns are going to come out. War Machine's going to come out as well here from Says, but he finds one and gets killed instantaneously as Narcs finds 2 as well, and Barra answering back with his own.
They've done a really good job of holding the back spawn, but one thing they haven't anticipated that is going to be Gathilla's going to be here out in the back, and now he's going to stop it all. But a really good pick actually comes through there from Maber to stop him, so they're still going to be fighting through the front side of the hill, and this has been a really good chunk of time here for Revenge, just stopping Animus from rotating around the back and flipping those spawns out. 23 seconds still on the cards here. And again, Kiyosuke's able to grab another couple of kills, this time with the shotgun. Again, it's going to be Sawo, though, who's looking to try and push in, and the machine pistol's doing work. Can't manage to get past another player, though, as Barra shuts him down. So rotations now look as though Animus just leaning forwards a little bit more, Mark. Here. They're playing the fundamentals a little bit better and making sure that they've got the spawns locked down, because they did lose a decent chunk of time because Revenge did such a good job of locking their feet into that last hill.
Oh yeah, they certainly did, and it's definitely closed that gap to less than 2 hard points as it was. It was 120 seconds. Now we're down to 70 seconds, but they're only 60, well, just less than 50 seconds away from the win here. Animus, they can win it on this hard point. Are they going to be able to hold full control? Catilla's got the back spawn. You've got players pushed up already and through that radar room, and they're going to try and see if they can keep control of the hard point for the remainder of the time. Character finds 2 with a shotgun though. Can he keep things alive? Can he keep the chance to make that break on in? As you do see Revenge getting inside that hard point. 3 players around it, but the other 3 players of Animus are spawning in the back. Can they stay alive long enough? Narx, Gatilla find the 2 kills, make the break back and forward, but the shotgun play comes in. And it's going to be alive for a little bit longer. As the Revenge are keeping themselves in this game. Can't be one here for Animus here either. Now it's going to be moving on to our next hard point. So either way, Revenge has got another chance to try and make a break or try and get some more time here back on P1.
Yeah, they've got to try to avoid the temptation of getting sucked in. Kiyosuke's able to get one with the shotgun, tags up another player, but again, the trade comes through. Gathilla's able to get one. Nox combines for 2. It looks as though Animus are going to be pretty ready to get this one done on the P1 now on the next set of rotations of hills. You can see they're desperately trying to run in towards the time, but Say's War Machine's out again. Steve's actually going to grab a big pick on towards Nox, so the contest is still on potentially here for Revenge, but they've got to get the kills to go through, and unfortunately, the kill feed just keeps going yellow. Mabe is able to grab a pick, but with 5 seconds remaining and not many blue arrows anywhere near, it looks as though it's going to be hell for leather in towards the P1. One man flies over the top rope, catches an Annihilator shot straight to the jaw, and it will be those boys of Animus able to take map 1 250 to 127. Perhaps not the most comfortable scoreline that you would have expected coming through from these boys, Mark, but they managed to get the job done regardless.
Nah, it started off really close there for the first set of rotations. It looked like it could have been anybody's game. Animus started running away with it, though. 2 hard points pretty much gap for quite some time. Revenge slowly getting themselves back in, but giving away 120 seconds the lead, that definitely made it difficult for them to make that comeback. And you've seen on that scoreboard there, absolute annihilation for the 2 Slayers there. Sawu and Says, there must be something with the S's because Shark's not far behind as well. Absolute annihilation. 45 and 29 and 1 minute and 25 seconds on the hill. Not to mention the 146 there on the hill as well from Shark. That's a great stand-up performance from the both. Yeah, overall, as a side, they were definitely getting the rotations and hitting the slaying power that they have in the side. And you can see why they're one of the best teams in EU for sure.
Yeah, you can see obviously what Sawo brings to the roster as well, dropping those big numbers again. Not necessarily the be-all and end-all when it comes to just kills, but obviously, like you say, with the 1 minute 25 on the hill as well, it's kind of a case of it looks as though he can do it all by his standards. So really good map, obviously off the back of that for Animus. They'll be happy that they managed to get that one done. But see, just touching on that map a little bit, Mark, there were glimmers of hope for Revenge. Obviously that P3 as well towards the back end of the map, where you could see Animus were trying to break in, but Revenge did a really good job of kind of understanding the importance of blocking those spawns. I think it was Steve that stayed outside of the back of spawn for what felt like an eternity. So they did make Animus work for quite a lot of those money hills, actually. We saw kind of Animus leaning a lot on the War Machines to break inside some of those hills. So there's still kind of those glimmers here for Revenge, obviously going into the map too, that they were going toe-to-toe with them on a couple of those hills. It was, like you say, more a case of in the middle portion towards the latter end. They did kind of blow it away a little bit, but it was a very good map regardless from Revenge, from potentially, especially from a learning standpoint as we get ready for the search.
Yeah, into the search instantaneously. Slate down the scope of Maybe. He takes one shot, does not manage to connect with that and make that first blood happen. But like we say, they're the defending side. It's taking a little bit of a delay to see what he's going to be doing here. You can see the rotation moving in. Bomb carrier is going to be... Where actually is the bomb carrier? I'm confused. He's got the bomb in the hand. I'm trying to see where they've moved to, but they're going over towards that B bomb site. They have managed to clear B as well. Sawa and Gatula finding kills, and now B is fully open. Now they're going to recollect that bomb. Player number 4 has found the bomb. Narx was going to try and make the rotation right around. 2 players to worry about, and that's Character and Barra. We're on board with Character. He's going to spot the bomb carrier as well. Gets damage done, but still, one more bullet, and that could have been the end of the bomb carrier, but it wasn't to be. He'll get his re-health gain and get back to try and supporting the rest of his side as the bomb goes down.
So 2 versus 4. Going to try and break in towards the time. Nice shot from Barrow, though, to shut Sage down. Shark, though, with a very swift trade off the back of it. And Shark able to grab the double as well with that SMG in hand. So nice work there coming through from Animus. A bit of an opportunity, though, Mark. Obviously, when that bomb was kind of sat in spawn for a while, I was sitting there thinking what potentially play they're going to make here, Animus. And it was a case, I think it was maybe Curator who almost managed to shut that player down before he got to site, but unfortunately it wasn't meant to be. Yeah,
sadly not to be for that one. But this time around, to see if there's going to be a change in their play style here as the attackers are now managing to get the bomb this time around, and they're starting to make their way through mid-map with 2 players, and also just kind of waiting around to see where they're going to make that first move. Peeking the corner is going to be Sage. He's got the sniper in hand. Can he spot the first blood, first corner? There is a player right around that corner. He won't see that, but we can see it just at the corner of our screens. He doesn't know any better. And that is going to be Stevie, just sitting, waiting, ready to pounce. Does he hear the knowledge? Sage, though, does find a first blood, and that is going to be on towards Meba.
So, 4v4. Time is ticking a little bit. They haven't quite broken in towards the A site. Shark, though, is able to open it out with 1. The Curator goes down. You've still got a couple of players lurking in and around that A site, though. And it's now going to be Stevie and Barra, last 2 up. Stevie's going to get a pick onto Sawo. And it will be 2 versus 2. So an opportunity to get the bomb down at B is going to be granted here to Animus, because there isn't currently anyone on the side of Revenge over here. The 2 players of Revenge opting to try and maybe retake this as a duo. So the first gunfight is going to be the all-important one.
Yeah, 100%. But you're up against 2 snipers that are watching different lanes, different passageways. See where they're going to get the opportunity to do it. Barra as well, also got 1 in his hand as well. So you've got that and Steve who's the backup. They're working together though, and you can see Revenge making their way towards the site. Smoke comes out, the challenge comes in. They do find the kill on towards Shark. Now 1 versus 2 scenario. Have they got the time? 40 more seconds. They need to try and find a kill as quickly as possible. Sage pulls out the snipe, finds 1. 9 seconds left. There's not going to be enough time. Is it going to be Barra finds the kill, but not enough time? Surely not. He's still going for it though. I'm pretty sure that's just going to explode in his face. No, it's not. It's done. Wow. I need to figure out my timings on these diffusers, because I don't think it was going to be enough for it.
I was going to say, chat will educate us on this, Mark, because we will hold our hands up and we will ask the question, because obviously for us normally it's 7.5, but I think I would assume that was a 5-second defuse time, because I was of the same assumption of you that defuse wasn't coming through. But fair play to Revenge. The fuse comes through, and around on the board, Animus going to switch it up and send a very, very heavy lump of players over towards that A site. You can see that number 4, I think Imbara, is going to be forced well and truly out of that one, as those yellow arrows look to absolutely swamp the A site.
Yeah, absolutely swamp it, just like we see some other teams doing previously. Barra though gets a double with a snipe. Instantly traded out though. Sawi does find 1 and then finds Steve-O. Looks to try and find more, but Carter stops him. Narcs gets the snipe back out to Carter, and now we're in a 2 versus 1 as he will find a second snipe there. Sage finding another, and now Meba with the sniper going for the wall bangs. Predicting, you know what, it wasn't far off. Can't lie, that yellow outline was not too far away from that second shot.
So check this man's tablet for a Cronus plugged into the side of it. Maybe. Nice work.
Cronus with your finger, imagine.
Yeah. Hey, some of these USB adapters are a bit mad, you know. So maybe still looking to see if he can find anyone. Let's get a little bit of information. Narcs, though, just playing behind the bomb. You would assume as soon as that information comes through that the teamwork does, and it does indeed. So Animus with a round on the board, doing a good job, switching it up, getting the bomb down early, and doing a good job of defending that site.
Yeah, a very good defensive side there for what was Animus. Pretty much on the defensive there. Bomb, just hoping that they can make control. That will go and be finished off. It was so close last time. We actually did eventually get the diffuser in, which, like we said, was very difficult. But there's the tags there again. Sage with that sniper in hand is devastating. But instead, Meba on the other hand is going to find him. Salah will find Barrett in response. But Stevie also found Narcs during that time. So now you've got the advantage if you're the defending side. You're at 4 versus 3. But the bomb is down. You're going to get the information. You know they're down at that A site. On the cross as well. Calater will find 1. Still got the advantage. So quick for these shotgun shots as well. Poof, and you're dead.
Blink and you miss it. Gothilla and Shark. Still need the 2 versus 3 though. Oh, and Shark's able to get 1, so he does a little bit of his job, and now he at least grants his teammate a little bit of an opportunity, but unfortunately it's not going to be enough. Maybe shuts down Gothilla, and it will be a defuse that comes through for Revenge. So tie it up 2 rounds apiece, and they're doing a good job of just taking these site retakes a little bit better now, Mark. They're trying to play it a bit more patiently, isolate these players, but I suppose the early starts to the round is where they're really flourishing at the moment, grabbing 1 pick, 2 pick, and all of a sudden Animus are kind of on the back foot.
Yeah, definitely. And you know what, in the end as well, they're having the extra men just to kind of trade each other out for trades. Having the extra body is always going to be beneficial, as long as you don't get yourself caught up in the same position as each other, because things like these snipers can be absolutely devastating if you get lined up, and you could almost instantly draw that back. But well, right, chat, I've got back to us. By the way, it is a 5-second defusal, so you're quite correct in your guess and thinking it might well be a 5-1, but Barra opens up that first blood towards Gatula. Stevie will answer another one as well and finds Narc. So now Revenge have got a wee bit of an advantage. 2 members make that 1 member difference now, as Shark does find Barra. Could be a nice nade. That is perfect. Like, over too far, just a little bit. Oh, I thought it was going to be a land right on that bomb site as they were putting that bomb down. But they do get the information and know the bomb is down now towards A. And Revenge looking with the extra numbers to try and find the added value. But it isn't going to work, because it did actually get traded out eventually at some point there, didn't it? So we do see the stun come in. And now the challenge comes in. 1 kill. Salwe fall. Shark gets the response back, but EACS will answer back towards Shark. And now you've got the advantage. Sage 1 versus 2 to try and stop that bomb being defused. Can't happen. EACS will get the kill, and in that meantime Carter is trusting his teammate so that he can get that defusal done as well.
Yeah, then another clean round again there, where they were just able to kind of bottleneck Animus through kind of 1 pinch point around the backside of site. So Animus keep getting bombed down. They just can't seem to stop Revenge from breaking back into the site. We've kind of seen that there's been a couple of unfortunate gunfights where Animus have been isolated, where they've had a sniper in hand and the guy with the shotgun's kind of met them around the corner. But these first bloods are really what's kind of really pinning them down at the moment. So another round on the board for Revenge. They take the lead 3-2. And again, we're going to see a little bit of a switch up. The B site is going to be the opportune moment. Say's able to hit 1 shot. Maber's going to hit his as well, that we saw on screen. And this is a much better round here for Animus.
Oh yeah, definitely a better round. They needed it as well, because it's just almost an annihilation for Para with that sniper once again. Does find 1, but he's going to have to deal with that number 1 player that's been on their side from that last round. Sawa just being an absolute nuisance, but with the bomb down, 31 seconds. Got to find 3 players, sniper in a hand, and that pretty much SMG pistol that has been looking absolutely rapid. It's not going to find the kill again, and we're going to see a little snipe, but the player does get over the boxes and gets away with his life. I don't think we're going to have time for 3 of these players and that bomb. And we're not even going to get the chance to get a kill. Narcs will finish that off and tie the game back up again at 3 apiece. That means we're going to be switching sides, as you can see on the screen. Now, the defense will be on Animus' side, but a very close one at that for sure. So it could be anybody's game still.
Yeah, I think this is kind of where we might see the kind of Animus pull away from Revenge to see what they've got, kind of how slick their defensive rounds are. It looks as though it's going to be a bit of a standard approach to this first defensive round. You've got 3 players over towards the B site and 2 more players on the side of Revenge over towards A. So it looks as though kind of the front door at B is potentially where those players are going to push through. I believe it's Sawo who's going to be trying to lock down his respective lane. There's going to be 3 players though pretty much ready and waiting for him for a few gunfights. You'd assume that a con would come through shortly, that they're pushing into B. The first gunfight surely on the horizon at B. You can see on the minimap there's 2 players literally kissing each other through a wall at the moment, as the shotgun on the side of Kyosuke, and there's Sawo, and there he goes, whizzes around the corner, gets the first blood, and that's an important one because it just stomps that push from going straight away through to B to getting bombed down.
Yeah, you see on the minimap as well, is it player will come in to support him here. Gatilla knows that after finding that kill here, there might be a potential of a second member of Revenge looking to try and get a kill back, but he supports his side, makes sure nobody makes that push around, but nobody else will fall in the meantime. Stuns have been played and thrown and nades through mid-map, but nothing being registered for anything. And in this position that Stevie's at, he's got a chance here to kind of wrap around this A bomb site. Unfortunately for him, Shark is ready to wait. He just will find his prey. He'll pounce. Without a doubt, he'll just find that blood in the water.
Well, mid-map is where it looks as though Sewa's going to try and find a gunfight. He's not. They've still got that bomb over towards the A site, but there's going to be 2 players on the side of Animus pretty much ready and waiting. So Curator's not going to really find anyone anytime soon, and says he's going to pick Barra off, so now it's going to be all on Curator. All alone and feeling, ironically, blue. and he goes down. Shark shuts him up. So it will be a round on the board on the defensive side for Animus, and yeah, a fairly comfortable one. It was a very slow approach actually from Organiser. They didn't necessarily have a kind of an all-adopt, okay guys, we're going to hit this one-site approach, as we saw Animus were kind of opting to do on their offensive rounds.
Yeah, exactly that. They do send a double nade over the top. Well, that could be the chance to find one, but doesn't manage to find. It looks on the map as it was going to be bang on top of player number 5 of Animus, but that was not to be the case. They've managed to make the rotation on towards B, though. Managed to bait a lot around towards mid map. So Revenge will get the chance to put that bomb down. They also pull that first blood on towards Sawi as well, with Barra picking up the snipe. And that is a good added start. As you get the bomb down, you get the man advantage, and then you've got the chance to defend your own bomb. Sage though, what a quick scope there. Finds 2 as well. Barra's next up in line. He's going to find another, is he? Oh, unfortunately for him though, he will fall to Isa. And now he's still got a 3 versus 3 scenario with 29 seconds left on the clock. Can Animus find some more kills and get this back and take it 5-3 lead here? There's the trades going back in. 2 versus 2. Inside the cellar we go. 1 for 1 again. It's a 1v1 in the end. 13 seconds. There's still time to do this. Can he pull out shotgun? Picks up the pistol though. That machine pistol has been devastating in the right hands. He's left it. It's not enough time here for the defusal. So Animus will just stand there and just watch. Well, it will shotgun him in his head, and it will tie back up again to a 4-4. And the search and destroy, where this like I said, could go any way either way. The way that these rounds have been going back and forward.
Yeah, it looked as though Nox was potentially going to be the man to make the play there. They had kind of both entrances within the B site covered to try and push in, but unfortunately I think it was Kiyasuki did a really good job actually. Obviously he was the last man up at the end, but just able to stay alive for what felt like an absolute eternity, and that one just offered his team the opportunity to just keep milking that clock down. So again, B is going to be the location where Revenge are going to try and take this bomb, and again it's going to be that man Sawo ready and waiting for the gunfight, and unfortunately he's got a sniper in Say's watching over the top of him. They do manage to take Sawo down, and they do get in towards the time. Narks is going to get a pick though, but it will now remain as a 2 versus 2, and that bomb still hasn't been planted, but there is still an opportune moment here for the 2 players on Animus to maybe grab that pick before they get that bomb down.
Yeah, that double snipe there from Sage at the start though instantaneously looked amazingly starting, but for them it's not actually looking out for them, because Revenge have got the bomb down on boards B. Sage is going to have to come up big once again. He does find one. What a snipe. Ties it to a 1v1. Lots more time on it this time, but he's got a deal. It's sniper versus sniper. Barrow versus Sage. And who is going to come out on top? Because Sage has already found 3 in this round. I think it's been 4 actually, potentially, with that sniper. But oh, he finds the next one. Barra gets shut down. And guess what? There's time on the clock. Plenty of it. 25 seconds. He'll finish that timer. And there we go. Animus will take the lead to 5-4. It's back and forward once again. I mean, anybody's game still. But that was a round from Sage if I've ever seen one. 13 kills to his name so far. And that's all with snipes for the most part. I mean, that's just been phenomenal.
Yeah, unbelievable there from Say. As I say, the ability to just take that moment where it's getting a bit squeaky bum time, bait the defuse for the chow to come through, and then hit the shot on the top of it was pretty much the cherry on top of a very good cake for him, that's for sure. So, but next round number 10 is going to ensue, and there's that man again, Says straight down the face of Barra, and unfortunately for Revenge, that first blood is just going to make this round a little bit more difficult to try and get that bomb down. It looks as though they're going to still again just try and persist with B, but these first bloods might start hammering them a little bit when it comes to the round count.
Yeah, for sure. This is what I really miss about normal Call of Duty multiplayer, is these snipes though, man. It's just so crispy. And there we go, we're seeing another one. Maba instantly shut down again. He is so quick with this in hand. The Tundra is looking phenomenal in the hands of Says, and it's going to be the difficult task. This is the player you've got to get off of the map as quickly as you possibly can. You can't be peeking too much. You get your body in line of sight of Sage. You're pretty much going to be making sure you're on death's door. Stevie, though, will find Shark. Try one back at least, but you've still got the man advantage here if you're Animus. And now still got on that defensive side. There's no push being made. Bombs down mid-map. Revenge are going to have to find a kill here and then try and get that bomb back. But Nash will snipe one as well, and Steve will be finished off. It's down to Isa in character. Isa does find Sage, so there's the number 1 fragger on the Animus side shut down. But you've still got 3 more players to deal with.
You've got Kiyasuki, I think he's trying to get into B, and he manages to do it with the shotgun, so in towards the site he goes. The trade, though, from Gathilla's going to be good, so It will now leave Curator all on his ones. He does have that bomb. He's got to just try and find the timing here on towards B. Sniper in hand. Is his quick scope going to look as good as Says have been across some of these rounds? Bomb's being planted though. The push is coming through. He hears the noise, but unfortunately the end is nigh for him. Narcs able to get that round on the board for them, and yeah, just stuck between a rock and a hard place there. Might try to get the bomb down, but the time wasn't on his side really.
No, it definitely wasn't, and now it means it's match point. Animus, the chance to finish the series in another 2-0 fashion. They're going to be quick on that defense down that A bomb site, only sending 2 towards B for the defense. And this time round, they're playing it a little bit slower. The Revenge, they've stayed back a little bit back towards their spawn. I don't really see anybody pushing too far up and just baiting one over towards B. Nothing being found, no information gathered from any teams. You can see that by the movement the Animus are making. But we can tell they're shooting through the wall. He knows that's a prime position the players might well be. Clearly doesn't find anybody on the other side. So that's a wee bit of information gathering from him. I'm sure he's probably used that spot plenty of times, hence the reason he's doing such a thing. So, yeah. Definitely slower.
Still trying to decide what they're doing with this bomb here. I think they're just waiting on an opportunity that Animus kind of grant them for a free pick. Number 2, you see that arrow there? It's going to be Saywo over towards that A site. He might have potentially the first engagement. There's a lot of gunfights ready and potentially waiting to go. There was one that was on the cards over towards the middle portion of the map as well. You can see number 5 and number 2 from the respective teams. But now this is where Saywo's going to have to try and make his play, you would assume. Oh my God, this is perfect. He's waiting for the right time. The machine pistol's out. He's able to get one, a really quick trade though from Creator. Looks very good. Steve and Kiyosuke able to grab some picks as well. And for a second there, I thought Saywo was going to do the naughty to him there, but it was a case of a really, really swift trade there from Revenge. And it might actually be the thing that's the difference maker in this round for them. Nice work there from Kiyosuke again. And Say's all on his lonesome. But if you're going to count anyone out, you don't want it to be him.
Oh, there you go. He's found one already. There's Steve. He's made it a 1 versus 3 scenario. He's going to try and quick scope again onto Isa, trying to make that move around. Once again, tries it again, but bombs down 30 seconds, 1 versus 3. It says if anybody's going to do it with a sniper in hand, it can be this man for sure. He's going to try and take another shot, but Side Carter does finish him off. Now we're going to another round, which means we're not going to be finished here. It's still match point for Animus, but they need to try and see another good round from Revenge here. We'll take it at least a little bit further. And hopefully we can see more rounds on our hands. And even potentially that map 3 that we are dying for to see. I want to see a little bit of raid action. But as it stands here, Sage looking down that mid-map. Sees that bomb grenade coming over towards him. Make sure he's out of the way, and he gets that first blood instantaneously on towards Barra. What a quick flinch onto him. And now he's going to get over towards that B bomb site for the support of the rest of his side. Nobody's really pushing from the Revenge roster at this point in time after that.
Well, bomb in the hands of Mayber is going to still be around mid-map, but that stun check's going to just pretty much see his end as Say's 18 kills now with his sniper. Steve does a good job, though, of flying one back at him and at least making the trade. So bomb should be retrieved in middle map, but the problem is that it's going to be a 2 versus 4 situation, and if Animus take this round, they take the map and the series, so no pressure. And unfortunately now Steve has got it all to do. He's all on his lonesome. The end is looking very nigh indeed. You can see now that they're just slowly pushing up the map. Number 3 and Gathilla is just making sure that he's locked that portion of the map, and it looks as though they've managed to sniff him out. They've bagged the kill, and Animus get the job done.
Yeah, job done. 7-5 the score against Animus. The number 1 side that we say is going into this looking like they would probably 2-0 it. They do 2-0 it eventually. It was a very close S&D though, and I felt like that was anybody's game. It was a very good match from Revenge. I feel for them because at one point they were quite close in that hardpoint as well. So I mean, they took it to them for sure, and that's the good thing to see. It's going up against one of the hardest teams probably in this whole competition. A good standing for the first game in the groups for them, and definitely a good warm up going into the remainder of the tournament for sure.
Yeah, I think if you're the lads of Revenge, you're going to look at that one and go, oh, okay, well, listen, we came up against a very good team. We'll try and take away what we can. I mean, when Sage is having a game like 18 and 10 with that sniper, we saw the amount of quick scopes and kind of picks that he was able to get. It was just kind of something that really just dragged them through that map. And in a map where it was only a 2-round deficit, that was the difference. Unfortunately for the boys of Revenge, that was just where Animus can kind of lean on. Say so for us, obviously Mark, he's a player to keep an eye on. Obviously Saywell as well. We've got to shout him out for that map 1 performance. So we're slowly starting to see kind of the abilities that these players have got across both of the respective teams. Obviously it was a commiserations there to Revenge. They did put up a very good fight. It's good to see kind of those little glimpses of teams coming together, even if they don't take a series. And we did see those some of those rounds where as a team they did look very, very solid.
Yeah, there's definitely moments for both sides. Obviously, a lot more moments on the side of Animus, but Revenge do look like the side that they could find things to work on that will progress their gameplay even further. And obviously, come up against Animus, I mean, you're going to learn more and more the more you play them. But what a phenomenal set of 2 matches we've seen, both going 2-0, but that second match definitely looked like it could have gone the distance to that game 3. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see Raid tonight, Major. Hopefully somebody picks that and we get that at some point. But overall for our first cast, I think it wasn't too shabby. It was kind of getting used to the gameplay and used to how the vibe flows and how the game flows. I mean, it's definitely a lot of a bigger change from the Call of Duty multiplayer that we are used to, but I am all for it. It was so good to watch, so interesting. These snipes definitely changed the game completely. I loved it.
Yeah. It's a learning experience for us. We're going to come along for the ride here on COD Mobile. It's a very enjoyable game. We will slip up. Apologies for, the names and obviously that map one as well, where we got everything completely tits up. But yeah, we're going to be learning the game, so apologies, guys. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed it as much as we did. Obviously, it's going to be the end of our action for today, but tomorrow there are going to be 2 more fixtures. We've got NATO versus Troglodyte Tribe, and then we've also got Monarchs up against Exclusive. So another double header on your cards tomorrow, guys. So make sure you, if you haven't subbed already, drop a sub. You get your notice through, and then you can see more COD Mobile action. But that is going to be it from myself and Mark this evening. Again, shout out to the Atlas team as well in the background. They don't say anything on stream, but trust me, they feed us all the information in our ears. So shout out to the guys in the background making all the magic happen. But yeah, that's it from myself and Mark. Thank you to everyone who's tuned in, and hopefully we'll see you again in the not too distant future. So yeah, catch you on the nearby, guys.
Peace.